Happy Friday, MJ traders and investors. It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community. As I mentioned, it's Friday, December 29th. I hope you're doing awesome. And in this video, I've got an exciting one for you today. We're going to be discussing some breaking news with regards to the UFC removing MJ from the banned substances list. It's not the first organization in sports to take that progressive approach. We're starting to see this trend emerge, and we're also seeing it at the federal level. We're starting to see reform there with regards to research and pardons, and we're starting to see things heat up from a regulatory perspective as well. So I think this is just a glimpse into the future and tip of the iceberg of where we're going with this amazing plant and medicine of the future. Before we get to it though, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. Love each and every one of you who have supported me along the way. And also, before we get to it, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment and informational purposes only. You should never ever buy anything based on anything that I say or anything that I write. Just before we get to the content, this video is sponsored by Moomoo. Founded by a NASDAQ-listed fintech, Moomoo is an online broker based out of Silicon Valley with over 20 million users. There's some exciting news coming for Moomoo platform as they gear up to launch RRSPs and TFSA accounts in January 2024. Moomoo also offers an array of benefits such as $0 maintenance fees, ultra-low FX conversion rates, and transaction fees on average about $1.99 per trade. People still tell me to this day that they spend anywhere from $10 to $15 per trade. Well, that can go away with Moomoo. Extended trading hours from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and you also get free access to level 2 market data, 40 plus drawing tools, and 100 plus educational resources, all for free directly on the app, which they have a mobile and desktop version as well. Last but not least, Moomoo is all set to launch another round of welcome rewards exclusively for RRSP and TFSA accounts. Stay tuned as more details on this will be coming soon. I will leave links for Moomoo in the description and in the comment section below. Diving into the article dated today from Green State, December 29th, UFC officially removes MJ from the banned substances list. And as I said, this isn't the first time we've seen a sporting organization take this progressive approach. We'll discuss all of that here in just a moment with regards to other sport agencies and organizations. So we'll take a look at the details here. Mixed martial arts juggernaut UFC has been considered one of the more progressive sporting authorities when it comes to MJ. The league is now taking things one step further by formally removing the plant from its banned substances. The UFC previously made headlines in 2021 when it announced fighters would no longer be penalized for having THC in their systems. The latest news makes the popular sports MJ policy official. UFC's goal for the anti-doping policy is to be the best, most effective, and most progressive anti-doping program in all of professional sports, said Hunter Campbell, UFC Chief Business Officer, in a PR press release. The news was part of the larger announcement regarding UFC's new anti-doping program, which takes effect December 31st. The league ended its partnership with the United States Anti-Doping Agency months ago, opting to enter an agreement with Drug Free Sport International. UFC was also one of the first professional sports organizations to permit sponsorships and advertisements from MJ companies. The league entered a partnership with Canadian firm Aurora in 2019 and signed Love Hemp to a 5-year deal in 2021. Several of UFC's biggest stars have openly discussed their consumption of MJ over the years, including Ronda Rousey and Nate Diaz. Many MMA fighters tout the benefits of CBD specifically for athletic recovery and pain relief, right? We know it's got so many different benefits other than, a healthier alternative to alcohol and tobacco, or recreationally speaking. It's got tons of medical benefits as well, right? Medicine of the future. The decision by UFC officials comes as more sporting leagues are softening their stances on MJ. The National Basketball League, NBA, lifted its ban on MJ use by players earlier this year, and the National College Athletic Association, NCAA, followed suit, recommending schools stop testing college athletes for MJ-related and use in cannabinoids. As more is discovered about MJ and stigmas continue to erode, it's likely these trends will persist. I 1000% agree. It's also possible that sports medicine experts will one day look at the plant as a way to protect and heal athletes going for the gold. So as I said, medicine of the future, and you can read between the lines here. The writing is on the wall, and I'm very confident that this is going to be the medicine of the future, one of the best industries to be in. In my opinion, it is the best industry. It's an amazing plant. It's amazing medicine of the future, and it's only the tip of the iceberg. We're starting to see more and more research. If we get rescheduling, that's only going to increase the amount of research and clinical studies and breakthroughs that we're going to see from a scientific standpoint. And the more dollars that get thrown behind it, the more research that we do, the more we're going to find out. Right, it really is just the tip of the iceberg, because when it's legal at the federal level in the U.S. and across the globe, that hinders the industry and the amount of research that we can do with regards to it, right? So we know Biden has officially, made some moves and changing his stance with regards to research. We know that he's doing all sorts of pardons. And like I said, and he's called on HHS to revise the scheduling of the plants. So we know that HHS recommended Schedule 3. Now we need DEA sign off, and then it goes to the DOJ, and then other couple regulatory hoops and red tape that it has to go through, right? But this is a great sign of what's to come. So this is the article from MJ Moment. So they kind of reiterate some of the same things here. UFC is proud of the advancements we have made in our anti-doping program over the past 8 years, and we will continue to maintain an independently administered drug testing program that ensures all UFC athletes are competing under fair and equal circumstances, he said. With this new iteration of the program, UFC has once again raised the bar for health and safety in combat sports. Then they go on to talk about some of the other leagues as well. I'll just skip through this because I already mentioned quite a bit of it. But yeah, over the summer, the National Basketball Association, NBA, and its players' union signed a collective bargaining agreement that removes MJ from the league's banned substances list and lays out rules allowing players to invest in and promote MJ brands, with certain exceptions. Also, Nevada sports regulators voted earlier this year to send a proposed regulatory amendment to the governor that would protect athletes from being penalized over using or possessing MJ in compliance with state law. And then, as we know, the National Football League, NFL drug testing policy changed in 2021 as part of the collective bargaining agreement as well. And then NFL and its players union also announced that in June they are jointly awarding another round of funding to support independent research on the therapeutic benefits of CBD as a pain treatment alternative to opioids for players with concussions. And such a great alternative to opioids, right? The New York Media Softball League, which has teams representing the Wall Street Journal, High Times, and BuzzFeed among its ranks, announced in July that it was launching a sponsorship deal with Kentucky-based CBD company. The idea behind the collaboration was inspired by moves by the MLB and certain teams like Kansas City Royals and Chicago Cubs that have also recently partnered with CBD businesses. MLB itself announced its league-wide partnership with a popular CBD brand last year, Charlotte's Web Holdings, one of the most recognized hemp-derived CBD companies in the country, signed the deal with the league to become the official CBD of MLB. While advocates have welcomed these changes, there's also been some criticism from the World Anti-Doping Agency over its ongoing MJ ban. Members of the panel within the agency said in an opinion piece in August that MJ use by athletes violates the spirit of sport, making them unfit role models with potential impairment, could put others at risk. That is just absolute stupidity at its finest. I don't know how anybody in this day and age could say that, especially if you're using CBD and things like that. It doesn't even have any. It doesn't even have any of the effects that make you high, right? So if you're just using for CBD, it's literally just a medical benefit, right? So this is just absolute stupidity at its finest. And I can't believe with all the science going on today that they would say that. The only thing I think they would say that for is just the narrative and to protect the alcohol companies and the big tobacco, big pharma, until they get their hands in it, right? As we know, it's all about money until they figure out a way to make money, and then they'll embrace it head on, right? Advocates strongly urged WADA to enact a reform after U.S. runner Sha'Carri Richardson was suspended from participating in the Olympics events due to positive THC test in 2021. Following that suspension, the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency said that the international rules on MJ must change, and the White House and President Joe Biden himself signaled that it was time for new policies, and congressional lawmakers amplified that message. And like I said, we could see rescheduling to Schedule 3 as the most likely scenario, in my opinion, over the next, call it 3 to 6 months. I think over the next 1 to 2 quarters, at some point in Q1, Q2, 2024, I think we should get that approval from the DEA and some progress there. But here was an article from Forbes as well. NBA will no longer penalize MJ use. Report says, here's how other leagues measure up. And like I said, this is just going to be a trend that continues, and not just from, sports organizations. We're going to see it from more and more states, more and more countries, as this medicine in the future and amazing plant and medicine continues to take the world by storm. So going in it there, this is great news. Love to see it, and can't wait for 2024. I wish you nothing but the best as we close out 2023. Happy New Year from my family to yours, and we'll see you again on the next video. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. It's Rod with Power Group. Take care and have a safe, happy New Year.